We're straight into it. This is map 1 between Sentinels and Vikings. Best of 3 here in the upper bracket. We'll see exactly how this one goes down. Vikings on the offense to begin with.
So excited for this one, Dan. This might be the first time where Sentinels could finally taste this whole W from Brazil. What is it going to look like? But it's going to be Shazam that does that instead. An updraft onto Belt. Oh, the timing off that. He might still be able to catch some players on the fast flank, but that means it's an A site that's open.
Yeah, Sassy's going to get caught, and this is quite confusing for Vikings. Like, how did he... I don't, but we have a spike plant, so that's fine. Shazam looking to get his pistol on, known for his pistol aim, but Sudicast will be able to take him down. Again, forward apologies for any mispronunciations. We'll try our best.
Oh, you nailed that one. You nailed that one, Dan.
Sentinels with that retake. Recon dart goes forward. Sentinels getting closer now. Just diving through that dark cover. No fear at all from Sick. Trace coming through now as Sentinels starting to gain more ground. We'll be able to actually start pressuring this spike. The tap comes through from TenZ and just sliding along the zip line. Not a care in the world. It's up to Zoms to try to finish this one off, but I don't know they will have time for this one.
Well done.
Sadaki is just going to be chilling up there in the attacker nest, and well, there it is. Zoms is going to go down as well, and that'll be Vikings picking up the piss around. Lovely stuff.
All thanks to good timing, right? Because when you looked at the retake and the battle coming in from Sentinels, like Potter said, it was going to be a bloodbath. And what I'm most looking forward to in terms of the gunfights, then, is later on, once we finally had the rifles come in. Again, I'm going to have to go back to the double bullets here that's coined by the way that the Brazil plays their rifles, the Vandals, and especially even sometimes the Phantom too, just going for those 2 taps very consistently and dancing around with the 30% forgiveness that you have in terms of mobility, because when you're strafing and counter-strafing, there's still more forgiveness into this game than there is, for example, in Counter-Strike. So Vikings have developed their own firing style, but on LAN, is it going to be good enough versus Sentinels, who, look at the roster themselves, have great firepower throughout the roster.
Certainly. It's definitely, you have to be able to meet them on that field first and be able to hold your own. That's the first test. Making their way are Vikings towards this B site. And that toxic screen is set up nicely here for Sentinels on the defense for retakes and also just to delay the effort onto the site. Very annoying. And the rotation's in.
TenZ has a Marshall. We've seen this yesterday, so you got to be careful if you're Vikings.
Yeah, looking for the moment to collapse here. It doesn't look like it's going to be an easy one. In fact, with that said, you called it. TenZ able to take down one, and that's the spike not being planted. I think it was denied just in the nick of time here, which creates a lot of issues because now they have to go. Vikings have to push back onto the site to get the spike, and they've managed to get the spike. And in fact, FLZ is going to take that straight to the A site. Okay, might be able to catch it on the cross. Will Six see it? I don't think Six saw that in time.
And another TTN was still stuck at yellow, so it's going to be an easy, like, 3v1 into... Oh, there you go. The round's over. That's TenZ with the Marshall here, Dan.
Yeah, that was a really nice movement there across to the A side from B. I think it was really unlucky that TenZ was able to find that kill, because TenZ denying the spike there created way too many problems. And you can see this is through the smoke. Oh, actually, well, there you go. That is unfortunate. We've all been there. The dark cover just going down just at the wrong time. That made all the difference. I think if the spike goes down, it's still a very winnable round for Vikings.
Correct. And with that, though, that disruption that was created by TenZ at that point, and again, a little bit of a disadvantage by not having somebody like an agent, like a Viper, to continuously put that wall up, because once that dissipates and you're not able to get that plant down, it's just you're open now trying to cross over to get these plants in a sight. And another Marshall kill here from TenZ onto Sadak, as we do have a hero buy coming in there. Sassy, actually no, Sassy still has that Bulldog from the previous round. The rest are going to be on an Eco, and they're just getting melted away way. This should be an easy round for Sentinels to make it a 2-1. So after the eco, you're going to right now just turn the page here for Vikings, and then you're just going to try to bring it back. Although I may be speaking too soon. It's a 2 versus 1, but he also only has 1 HP.
1 HP. That's nasty. Very difficult situation for Sassy. The Bulldog as well. And Sentinels are not going to give anything for free here. They are just playing it completely safe, giving a lot of respect to Sassy. Trying to play this one correct. And as far as Sentinels are concerned, they can allow the spike to be picked up, because once the spike is planted, or that they start to hear the planting sound, that then gives them the information as to where Sassy is. And then that allows them to know precisely how to play together to get the kill and guarantee it. So
yeah.
With that said, though, you know, Sassy's had to make so much noise here, and there's such little time left. It looks like it will be a gentleman's agreement. Sassy will be saving,
10 seconds left.
and Sentinels will not pursue.
So 2 rounds in a row here saved by Sassy. So he was able to get 1,000 credits, another 1,000 credits, plus all the ability that he's bought in the last 2 rounds. He probably doesn't have that much going on. Maybe enough for shields and buying stuff here for maybe a lower buy for one of his teammates. But this has been very good here for Sentinels. And again, I thought that we might see something a little bit different for Vikings from pulling at least some flashes. If you don't have a Viper, if they played a Sky before in the past, this would have been very good if they want to try to take sites over, for example, on the A side. Because again, look at this medium map of where Shazam is currently being placed. He's with the operator towards the A side. Who else do they have to face against? They have to face up against TenZ. And when you don't have any flashes to try to push him back, it's going to be easy for Shazam to land these shots, as we've seen before in different days.
Yeah, and TenZ up there, large and in charge, but taken down actually without getting a single kill is certainly going to create some issues. The dash comes through. That's going to gain some very quick forward space here for Vikings. 6 managed to creep under the rafters, and Shazam's starting to peer out now as well, looking to see what he can find. We know he's quick for the flick, but it doesn't look like he's going to get any peeks here. Dapper, though, taking down Sassy, makes it a 4v4. Sentinels will have to go pretty deep here, though. But the nano swarms up on the box to delay. No peeks being given. Shazam's quite deep now. Spots one. Has to dash away. And playing the post-plant shenanigans, the lineups are there. Are they able to deny this, though? The diffuser's coming through.
Oh,
Come off of it. Beautiful work there from Vikings. It felt like they just put Sentinels in a checkmate position in terms of the post-plant with the way that they had the lineup set up. Looked like Sentinels, it looked like they had a chance, but in reality, there wasn't really an answer.
Mm-hmm. And I guess this is a great way to actually push back the operator from Shazam as well. So they didn't have any flashes, as we mentioned before, but how they do it is they actually do have the cloud burst being thrown at the beginning from their jet, and at the same time, the owl drone comes out from Sassy to tag Shazam and force him out of his spot. Yes, you would have expected maybe a couple of kills here to even up the tally when they were pushing up against TenZ, but that's just a great push coming in from Vikings. What I do find very interesting as well, though, is Vikings are consistently planning on top of the A tower so far of the A site. So no default spots, very dangerous when you don't have, like, again, the Viper or anything to try to help out the plant, not a stage wall to try to cover the plant too, but it's been perfect so far for the pulse plant with the utility from the nanoswarms and the snake bite combined with the Viper cloud.
Oh, and interestingly, the lockdown looks like it might come through here, and Sick is 1 away from Hunter's Fury, so he can't actually deny this. Now the question is, will they sacrifice one player on the defense Sentinels to try to get some kills? TenZ is the man to do it. He's going to be able to take down one. In fact, a second kill coming through as well. Traded out by FRZ. And Sudicast towards B. He's just lurking on through, and
wow,
this is interesting. 40 seconds. Oh, trying to get out of there, out of the A site, on the rotation towards B. And Sadiki will be lost, and TenZ is going to be rezzed. So this is getting very interesting now. This is a very difficult situation.
30 seconds left.
Oh no, Shazam is going to find a perfect timing on this one. There's nothing that can be done about that. We'll get taken down by Sudicast, but a 1v3 now in store for him. Here's the stepping, plays through the smoke, tries to punish. Now they know exactly where Sudicast is in, and he's going to be in so much trouble. There's a good attempt at a recovery, but Not good enough in the face of Sentinels, it seems, and they're going to pick up the round 3-2.
Yeah. Danny was definitely a good attempt at that point. I think on that 4 versus 2, you wanted to try to gamble a little bit at that point, right? To move back towards B side was the right call, and it comes down to where the positioning of Sutikas was at, actually on the rotations from Sentinels, because he pushed all the way out towards Snowman, towards that spawn side, hoping to catch some players from Sentinels at Boiler, moving into the kitchen side. But after that res, everybody went towards that mid, under tube, getting back from oranges to go for that defuse. So a little bit unfortunate of where the positioning was at, and you just want to get the plant down at that point in a 4v2. At least that was successful.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that they had the lurk kind of there to be activated in the first place. That extra dimension to their game is going to be very beneficial.
Yes.
As we see that almost amounting to an opportunity to just save the round entirely. Ooh, the Hunter's Fury coming through. Doing some damage. Shazam down. Ozzy trying to find what he can there with the Blaze Storm. Trying to punish the Hunter's Fury now. There goes the Cloudburst by 410. Trying to just create a path, and it's going to work out. Tens goes down.
Wow.
And this is looking like a struggle here for Sentinels.
Oh!
Once again, finding himself 2 unlikely kills. Just finding that perfect timing to create all kinds of problems. But he's alone against 3 players. Is there any extra damage to be done here by Dapper? Absolutely not. Sassy will take him down, but it was a good attempt, and it will keep the money honest here for Vikings.
Wow, that was very well done there for Vikings too. As we talked about how Sentinels are very good at like switching the tempo of how they play this game. Sometimes you want to play aggressive, play for the trades. Sometimes you just want to play more conservatively, just like the other series we saw. And for me, who's more accustomed to that stereotypical Vikings, hey, let's keep pushing forward, or just Brazil in general, for them to just hold default towards spawn side and punish an early aggression from Sentinels towards mid was actually very key for them to just open up towards the A side after. A blind, I think that was a blind Hunter's Fury too from Sassy to get that kill. So expecting the position of where Tens is currently playing, always around that 410, caught him off guard, disrupted also the site, allowed for Vikings to get in, and to get that win was actually quite huge. So a 3v3, the battle comes back and forth. An Owl drone that came out just to scout at the beginning from Sick into the mid side, but it's not going to surmount to too much information, except for this recon art potentially that could see towards the bottom of the tube. It's just going to be hidden away by FRZ at the bottom of that ramp. So you could still lurk up towards this side. Shazam's in a great position right now, though, if FRZ decides to fall back. So a very not necessarily default, but they're holding angles very aggressively here for Sentinels just to try to pin down FRZ.
Yeah, I'm loving this opening from Vikings. As they make their way back towards A, though, in the late rounds, we're going to see that Tens will pick off Sadiki. FRZ there in mid will be spotted as well. I feel like Sentinels have a pretty good read of what's going on at this point.
Yeah.
Where is Tens? Just trying to contact through our Vikings. Tens is in such a good position, especially with the bait there. Empress popped by Tens. And there's still 5 players here standing for Sentinels, and the spike still needs to go down, but there is just so little time to do it. FRZ trying to fight against Tens, and the delay is just so much at the same time for FRZ to try to contend with, as he just walks into the angle that Tens is holding with Empress. Not going to be able to withstand that. And Sentinels pick up the round, and we're back and forth here, I have to say, Van.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 4-3. It's been great to see that slow down. I liked that from Vikings, putting more emphasis around mid in the early round there. That was cool to see.
Exactly. Something that we don't see quite often throughout the matches that we've witnessed casted, where mid control seems to be left out in the open kind of, and working the extremities, the standard of running out the Owl drone or the Sova utility to try to push back towards the B side. I like the presence towards mid from both of these teams. And with that, though, getting that positioning, as we mentioned before, pinning FRZ in that tube side, Ten's playing from where he is right now. You always kind of guess, is he going to play a Raze? Is he going to play a Reyna? Playing a Reyna on this map seems to work wonders for him because of these aggressive plays, and he could dismiss aways on his kill. Sorry.
Oh, Sick doing a great job from the backside, and he's going to just go into completion here. Shazam up on the high ground. Ooh, just barely able to dodge that one, down to 10 HP. 2v3 here for Vikings. Make that a 2v2 as Toms goes down, and there might be some space and breathing room after all to get the spike planted. There we go. Shazam creeping around, might find a timing here. Very dangerous. Dapper makes his way forwards, goes down. It's up to Shazam here. 70 health. Can he make it work? Absolutely not. Denied by GTN. Great round again from Vikings. We've talked about the back and forth, and we get it here once more.
Little things as well from seeing Dapper throwing those slow orbs on the top of the A tower, right? I think they do that quite often, especially on the post-plant situation, so that nobody could really get into the tower and move forward to create like a one-way angle so they have verticality over players running towards spawn side. And even this is actually really good against a team like Vikings, who in the first 2 rounds have been planning a lot towards this A tower side. So now they force them on the ground. You fight on even angle, and even maybe take the upper hand because you're rotating through spawn side on that rafter. But aim seemed a little bit more shaky this time for Sentinels on that retake. Vikings on point for that, winning that round. But this round here, we have an early ult coming out from Zombs. He's just trying to deny visibility from how they're playing towards this orb side. And are they trying to fight for the orb too to give it to Shazam?
There is still a drone available here for Sassy, as we can see. That can obviously be a good way to deal with a Viper's Pit, but they're going to ignore it entirely and just go for the run towards B. And you can see the rotation.
Shazam picked up the orbs.
You should run.
And there's the lockdown as well, clear on any sneaky players in any close positions. Gives a lot of space to work with post-plant as well. Shazam, oh, over the top, he gets 2! Shazam again! He did it yesterday, and here he is once more with the knives causing problems. Still more players to go. Shazam, he wants every last one. This is a problem. The defuse now is being pressured. Vikings are surely going to have to start to push forward because they don't know what's going on. The Hunter's Fury comes through from Sassy, but there it is, Shazam looking for the 8. Out comes the Sheriff, can't pull the trigger in time, but the defuse is coming through from Sick, and there is no time to stop it. Tens with the cover, and Shazam again, the X Factor with the Blade Storm, is going to give Sentinels an extra round.
That is how you deny momentum for sure. So the ult, yes, it was a half buy coming in for Sentinels. They ulted not only to deny visibility into the A site, but also to allow Shazam, who is 1 point away from getting the Blade Storm, picks it up, and this is the result to it, right? You've mentioned it, Dan. Yesterday has been key with the Blade Storm against Fnatic. Well, he does it again versus Vikings. Unfortunately, couldn't get that ace, but at least it's good enough for spacing and allowing actually the scaling from Sentinels on that retake into the defender spawn back into the site and giving them the lead again into the first half.
And more pressure coming through to aid this round. We got a Blade Storm out here for FRZ. Todeki is able to take down Shazam. Rez coming through. Chaos now as Sentinels try to hold on to the backside. That wall allows Sick to have position here, and he's going to be able to take down the spike for free. Todeki is going to be out of the round now, and FLZ still with the knives ready to go, but this round is slowed down, and it's looking good for Sentinels.
How'd that showstopper miss?
I don't understand. I simply don't understand. And now it's down to Sassy, looking pretty desperate here. Shazam will take him down, and it really felt like the momentum going into the site was so good for Vikings, and then there was just a certain point where they just couldn't go any further.
Yeah. Just a missed clearing, I think, because at that point, somehow, getting into sight, getting that wall up for Vikings, and looking for basically a default plan to play the retake, this is an angle that wasn't checked. Sick to be able to allow him to creep down towards low rafters and get that kill. Not only that, but onto the spike carrier. And, dude, he's down at 12 HP. He swallowed the rocket. I don't know what was going on there for Sick, but he's got the blessing of Valorant for that time to survive that one. So 6-4, I gotta say, you're right, Dan. The momentum was there for Vikings to take that site, but just not clearing or double clearing back into the truck side of the back of the A site allow for Sick and Sentinels to regain momentum of the round.
Yeah, definitely. We'll go back to that point more because there's some important stuff there. But once again, Vikings are going for this A site, and this time they're going to go into a more committed fashion, trying to get that backside control. That Cloudburst does prevent that backside peak, but Sentinels still have these positions to peak from the high and low ground to work off of, and it might be quite beneficial, but no, Vikings able to find the kills this time, and it's going to leave Sentinels down to just 2 players. And it seems like we've had so many rounds like this. Vikings will get shut out, but then just almost doing the same thing. The next round will have a significantly better result. And there it is, for the Prime Gaming Flawless, no less.
I'm actually really liking their attacker side here, Dan, for Vikings, because that was my biggest question mark again against Shazam. What do you do? How do you get him off of his position from the operator on that A site? And the amount of times that Vikings have been pushing towards the A site, but they're working the left side of the site instead of swinging towards the right, unless there's like a wall that comes up. If they are able to get Shazam out of his position on the left side of the site by truck, then they work towards the right side of screens and they pressure up into the A site that way, and don't really allow Sentinels to have an easier retake on their end. So Sentinels, to be able to win this round, they have to be on point. They have to be cohesive in terms of the chemistry for their retake plays, which is why it continues to be back and forth right now. Vikings are definitely putting up a good fight.
And Shazam on those knives at the end of the round, or sorry, at the end of the half, is certainly a scary prospect.
To 100%.
Hunter's Fury is available for Sassy, and Sadiki is an ultimate orb away from a lockdown. So you see that control will be gained here towards the A site. I'm sure they'll want to get Sadiki onto that orb. Hens deals with the drone. Up by the pipes, he's a problem. And Tens will actually drop down on to 410, trying to escape here. They're actually trying to run him down. They are having success, in fact, forcing him away. Still Shazam backside, waiting for his opportunity with these knives. And that's Killjoy ultimate. The lockdown does come through to force out Sentinels from the site, which will give a lot of post-plant positioning here for Vikings. And with that Hunter's Fury, they're going to have a lot of strength in this post-plant.
Yeah, and small detail too for Shazam to be able to escape without using a dash could still be huge right now for the retake.
Wall coming through actually around 410. This is getting quite hairy here. Sudicast will try to dodge that Hunter's Fury from Sassy as it goes forwards, and Shazam is still waiting for his moment, going forward with the knives, and does take down one. Ten's also able to do some damage. It's up to Sassy now. There's no more util after this shock dart. Will it be enough? The shock dart, oh, down to 6 HP Dapper. He survives, and Sentinels end the first half 7-5, just a mere 2-round advantage, and it feels like they need it. Vikings are playing great so far.
100%. I do agree with that, Dan. They're displaying some great Valorant right now for the region, really representing Brazil so far in this clash of some would actually call Titans, right? A lot of players or a lot of fans are considering Vikings to be not only underdog dark horse, but could potentially win it all, especially if you're a Brazilian fan. So to go toe-to-toe right now versus Sentinels in this way, look at the amount of utility that gets popped off, and it's so hard to cast because at the same time, it's just trade and a kill after kill. So the spacing and also the trade ability from both of these teams have been on point. It goes back and forth onto the scoreboard, onto the kill feed on top of that too, and I'm loving such this close game that we're currently witnessing so far.
Definitely, and straight away in the second half pistol, we're seeing the drone used by Sentinels to get control towards B, get that information, get the ultimate orb, and the rotations coming through for Vikings as well. They're looking to meet this before it gets to planting a spike, and my goodness, Dapper takes down Sudicast. He had a couple opportunities there, didn't quite work out. Wall goes up for Dapper to get a plant, and there it goes. Not really an angle here, I don't think, for anybody to abuse. Sassy does try with the reveal, but as we follow Sadiki, we'll see if he was be able to do anything here, pushing forward. Post-plant positions are strong. Oh, that's an excellent shot there from Sadiki. What else has he got in store for us here as he goes forward, getting really close to these players? Dapper takes him down, and it's just FRZ with any workable amount of health here. That frenzy up close, and it's just not working out. Dapper is delivering frag after frag. And it's just a matter of time here for Sassy. One bullet will do it. And there is that bullet. And Sentinels pick up the pistol. And that's great to see as well, because, you know, you love to see the pistols traded. I believe Vikings won the pistol in the first half.
Yeah, and even at that point, it was you're kind of happy that Dapper still stayed alive, because I was chuckling a bit. He got into the B site while he was having his burial wall up, getting ready to throw it onto the B site, and suddenly you have a swing coming out from the defenders, and it catches him off guard, where potentially that would have been a spike lost. But now you get, what, 3 kills a spike plant going on top of that too. Look at how close you're already into the res here. There was a big round here for Sentinels, and this res could definitely come into factor in about 2 or 3 rounds once you have a player like FRZ continue to push forward, trying to fight for these orbs, trying to build up his Blade Storm, and try to build the economy back here for Vikings. But with this round, it's going to be a slow hold for Vikings, stacking up towards the A side. Shazam's the one that's going to try to look for some information there, but the rest of the team of Sentinels are lurking up towards this B side, slowly creeping up.
Yeah, and it feels like Vikings have a good read of this now. They're starting to make movement around the map. And this is the thing, though, is Sentinels cut noise, and they're rotating back and forth. And so it looks like they're about to catch this push that could be in store here around A main. This is a big moment because close-range battle could be favorable here, but nothing doing for Vikings. Zombs will take 2 down, and that's a free A-bomb site, and they know it.
When you're fighting Classics in no armor versus a Spectre, not easy to get that win. So like you said, Dan, open sight, forcing the hand out of Vikings to push forward and punishing them on looking for that information for Vikings should be looking to be a flawless, almost a Prime Gaming flawless. And there it is.
There it is. All right, so 9-5 now in favor of Sentinels. We get into our first buy round here for Vikings. Super curious what we'll see. They're definitely a team that have a lot in their playbook.
I want that knife so badly, Dan. Just like something about dual wielding a knife in this game seems so cool, but I don't know how disruptive it could be on the screen. But yeah, definitely. So at this point, though, a gun round coming in for Vikings. You have a 4-round cushion for Sentinels. I'm definitely okay with them keeping the Spectre so far. The res is already ready for Dapper, and Zoms is 1 away from a Viper's Pit. So if they get a kill and put a Viper's Pit somewhere to deny on a post plant, very difficult here for Vikings to play the retake.
And Shazam's actually going to take down Sassy early on here towards the A side. And with all this pressure towards B as well, Sentinels could reset in the mid round here, which it looks like they might be considering. Just cut the noise and force Vikings to play 2 to a site or play info somewhere. And it looks like actually Sentinels are just going to hold. And so again, you know, if you wait long enough, it's likely that the defenders are thinking to themselves, well, they could have rotated back, so we're going to have to rotate some players off. And you can see on the minimap, that's exactly what's happening. Just by waiting, Sentinels have made their attack on B stronger.
Yeah, and Sutakas is going to be on his own now inside this B site. He's going to have to be on point with potentially a quadruple swing onto this B site. This wall is going to come up. Should be an easier plant now that they have the wall to come up at the same time as well. And there you go. So Sentinels are going to come in for a plant. You're going to have to play a retake once again for Vikings with a man disadvantage, but also Sassi dying early means they have no recon for the retake inside this Viper's Pit.
There's so much utility all over the place. It's so confusing to see exactly if you were in that smoke where players are going to be coming from. But looks like there's a good sense of it here for Sentinels, especially for Zoms as he lurks around inside that Viper's Pit looking for any oncoming assailants.
No way.
Goodness, GTN knows those angles. Takes down 10s from a distance, and with that, maybe there's a chance here. But time is an issue. They've got to move, and it looks like the movement will be to retreat and to hold on to these weapons. Makes a lot of sense. Very close one.
It looked pretty good, though. I'm not going to lie. I'd love to see the replay from GTN's POV. Like, we saw that 3rd kill on the top through the Viper's Pit on top of green, but the first 2, I'm thinking that it's also some random sprays through the smoke for those kills. And that is actually pretty good to hurt the economy of Sentinels, who continue to be like pretty much on the run so far in the second half. And there you go. Look at that. That was pretty sick.
Wow. All right.
And that's the 2-bullet dance. The 2-bullet dance. Pop, 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 pop. And he lands those shots. So they're practicing this so far, despite having a composition that, you know, we said it, no Viper, no Sage, blah, 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 blah. It's like, hey, we're comfortable with our composition. We know how to play this, and they're playing it almost to perfection, where it's been a very difficult half for Sentinels on the defender side. But the attacker side so far has been a whole different story here, Dan.
Yeah, it really has. And Sentinels will kick this round off with just defaulting out pressure towards A and B long control. Very scary playing against 10s. I'm very sure that that's you know, quite an intimidating prospect. Team there with a Vandal just ADSing away, looking for the taps. Got to be very careful about giving up kills to TenZ in this position. You don't want to do it. And in the meantime, with TenZ showing that presence, we are seeing a contact through, and TenZ will get the frag eventually. He will not be denied. Vikings in for some trouble. It could be decent paint shells. You can see Dapper just barely escapes that one. It does delay the spike plant for the time being. Buys some extra time for the rotation. Oh, the shock dart missing there. I think again, in fact.
Yeah.
That's so unfortunate. And they have nothing left here, Fancilly. They've been completely annihilated for yet another Prime Gaming flawless.
The idea was there. I think maybe losing FRZ early like that was a detriment for sure, especially when you're playing a Jet that you could try to dash away if TenZ is trying to shoot at you. But the way that they threw the recon dart just to combine it with the paint shells to deny the plant was huge, because off that, you're even able to throw the Sancho charges onto the wall from GTN, potentially break that wall. But again, because you've lost a player so early, it just makes it harder. As an anchor player inside the site that you've lost, much more difficult for the retake, and Sentinels just took advantage of that one for sure. And now they're forcing VKS, the Vikings, on an eco, and VKS are looking for the timeout to figure out what to do, potentially in the further rounds, right? You have a showstopper at this point. Do you want to try to fight for orbs too for Sadak so he could have a Killjoy ult into the next round should they not win this eco round, and try to figure out what to do? And it looks to be a hero buy so far for GTN.
Yeah, and interestingly, I think, was it from Masters when we had that statistic showing that hero buys had like a 38% win rate or something like that.
Yeah.
Like significantly higher than just, you know, a Sheriff save round, for example. I think that was from Masters 1. And we'll see if there can be any success here from Vikings with this hero buy. I'm definitely a big fan of it. I think in CSGO it became, you know, much more popular in the recent years.
Yeah. And I feel like it's definitely more doable in this game right now for Valorant. So to be able to have that on top of that, the showstopper. So as you're shooting away and they're trying to run away from the showstopper from Sentinels, and you now have gain map control and switch over to a Vandal to try to capitalize on an entry with that too, it could be very beneficial right now for Vikings on how they want to run this. And coming off this timeout, we're about to resume here round number 17. It seems as though right now for Vikings, it's sticking things up towards the A side and potentially just going for the aim battle from the boxes of 410 into A belt.
And it makes sense, you know, Sentinels have shown presence here in many rounds, and we've got the same approaches. Shazam's the most forward player because he has a dash, but can't dash away from that one. Great shot, and that's the opening kill. You know, Sentinels know that they've been peak sticking players there on the defaults and on the anti-eco, that it's Shazam. He has the dash, he can be safer than his teammates. And Vikings knew it too, and they actually found the kill this time around. So yeah, with that and with the Blade Storm, this gets scary.
Definitely a nice little variation of finding the A orb. We talked about Sentinels on the attacker side before, defender side, sorry, before. It was Zombs ulting with the Viper's Pit and then Shazam picking up the orb. This time, it's FRZ moving forward with GTN with the rifle so that potentially if GTN dies, you could trade, pick up the orb, and then you'll still be on your Blade Storm. So I like that. He landed that kill into Shazam, picked up the orb, and now it's winnable.
And TenZ managing to snipe one in middle though, so that's going to even up the numbers. And it's triggering a rotation here as well towards this B side of the map. Throwing in some last bits of utility there, Dapper onto A, maybe to keep the rotation at bay from the defenders of Vikings. But we'll see that I'm sure that they will hear the Leer there. They do have Sudicast in position. He's going to play into the smoke here. This is a risky maneuver, but will it pay off? No, it doesn't. TenZ will take him down, and the spike will go down onto the B site. GTN, there it is. There's the dance you were talking about. That showstopper's available still as well.
Scanning ahead.
This is scary stuff here for Vikings trying to press forwards through the toxic screen. There's the first battle. 6 going to win it. Huge. The Zombs with the lineups ready to go. Sassy, oh no, both players running out of bullets. And it's going to be Sentinels that get the better of that one. 12-5 as they are yet to drop a round in this half.
I like the idea, at least, of playing inside the smoke. It's definitely a risky, way more risky. I think he had a sheriff right now inside that smoke at the same time too, Dan. So if he did have a classic or a frenzy, maybe doable, but also when you have to face off against 10s inside that smoke, with the way that he's playing and the way that he warms up, it's going to be very difficult to try to win that upper hand. And aside from that, yeah, a little bit awkward in the end, but you're happy that you still have a sidearm versus Sassi, who had nothing left after losing all those shots. So now it's map point potentially here for, or should I say the first map potentially in the bag for Sentinels as they're leading by 7. And with Vikings looking still for some sort of solution, is looking to be an early kill actually towards this mid side. Dan off camera, a peek down towards mid, and that surprised Zoms.
Yeah, Sadiki, super brave, going down all the way down mid there to find that one. An unusual move. I don't think that that move has yet come in, which is why it likely took Sentinels off guard. And Sentinels now, they're just going to collapse on this A site, looking to contact through. Information there with the reveal. So that's 2 players that they've spotted. That tells them enough, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Kill on the dash. Tens goes down. That's one of the entries just gone. Oh dear. It's looking a bit scary now for Sentinels. 3v5. Don't really have position, but they have to commit to this. They don't have time to go to B. So it's all in on this A site. FRZ is here waiting at 410. Great repositioning. Such a great round so far from FRZ. Will finally go down, but it's done a great deal of damage. Shazam switching out for the Vandal, seeing what he can get done here. 15 seconds to go. Revealed, and it's very difficult, isn't it? Fantastic shot again. Trying to bait out another play. He can actually get a spike plant here. He's on for the clutch. He's going to hit them closing the distance. He comes out before he gets the spike planted, and the paranoia comes through. Sadiki with the finishing shot onto Shazam, and it's 1 round. It's the first round for Vikings in this half. They need to get a lot more.
Oh yeah, but definitely a valiant attempt there for Shazam. At that point for Sentinels, losing a player like Zom so early, I'm okay if you lose Tens or Shazam at that point, but when you lose a Viper that could pull up these walls, that could try to force the rotations, that could play mind games with your opponents, with having that agent down, Vikings playing that numbers advantage, they never rotated. They played the right numbers. They didn't over-rotate at the same time too. They already had a 3-player stack towards that A side, and the same utility that you see from Killjoy on this minimap was placed on the same way for Sadak. So they played that perfectly on their end, played that patiently too, but it could have turned it over for how Shazam has been on fire with the knives to start things off and potentially with that clutch. But Vikings, they stay alive. They're trying to hold back this B side as you're fighting for this orb, and Shazam getting the opener. And he's going to say, look, I didn't clutch before, but I'm definitely going to help my team win this map. They also picked up the Hunter's Fury, and this is going to be tough now for Vikings.
Yeah, great kill there from Sadiki. He's got the lockdown too, so could cause a lot of problems here. Hunter's Fury comes through as well from Sassy. Oh, gets 2 on the tag, and is able to finish off both players as well. That's a great lineup. And now it's down to 2 here for Sentinels. Sick and Shazam. Oh god, it's looking very difficult. Sadaki's just holding that defuse for days right now. I don't think there's any way they can stop this. Indeed, they swing, it's desperate, and Vikings pick up another round. So they're not done just yet. And you can see the change from Sentinels there, Vansley. They decided to just really mix it up because they've been defaulting so much. You know, and it was good for a pick, actually. Shazam actually managed to find a pick.
Yep.
And they just collapsed onto the B site. So it looked really good initially until that happened.
Very, very difficult too when you definitely have to try to dodge a Hunter's Fury from one of the best Hunter's Furier, if I could put it that way, from Sussy in the game. So getting a double onto that one definitely gave that confidence for Vikings to just stick that spike at the same time too. But that means more ultimates available into this round. Aggressive push coming in from Sadak again, but it gets immediately traded out. They still have a res, so they could get the res onto Shazam. He could still bring out the Blade Storm, and they're going to still be at a 1-player advantage for Sentinels.
This could be a great response from Sassy, though. Going aggressive in A main. You've got these deep positions. Oh, just caught before the satchel can be utilized there. FRZ going to whip that one, but
no way.
Cast is good for it. The aggression from multiple sides from Vikings catches Sentinels off balance. But it is not done just yet. A minute to go, and we're in this 2v2. We've got the play being made by Dapper onto the B site. And Sick is able to get a lot
This is
of
so good.
information in this position.
Yeah, he's going to hear the footsteps. He could bait it out. He's going to let Dapper know at the same time. And if Dapper fails, well, you have a Hunter's Fury available. There's 6 in a great spot.
The timing is perfect for Sick as well. That surely seals the deal here as FRC's in such a bad spot. No help to work with. Very troublesome indeed. Goes for it, I respect it. And that's going to be it. Sick is going to close it down for Sentinels.